Have you ever felt that you would like to start investing, but you have waited too long and now it's too late? Well, I've invested hundreds of millions of euros for tens of thousands of clients over my career. I was the CEO of a European pension fund, which today manages over 1 billion euros. Now I teach new investors all over Europe who often ask me, am I too old to start investing? And the surprising thing is, people ask me this at the age of 65 and they ask it at the age of 35. So in this video, I will show you at what ages it makes sense to start investing. I will explain the situations in which investing can be a bad idea, and I will share my personal investment calculator so that you can put in your own numbers and see what investing could do for you. But let's start with a misleading, even dangerous message that makes relatively young people think that they might be too old to invest. So meet Bob. He spends his 20s and 30s living paycheck to paycheck. And then at the age of 40, he starts thinking about retirement. So he invests 200 euros a month for the next 25 years and he earns a profit of 9% per year. His wealth at retirement is 212,000 euros. Now meet Anna. She's a very sensible 20-year-old. So she starts investing 100 euros a month, half as much as Bob, and keeps doing it for the next 45 years. Her wealth at retirement is 659,000 euros, or 3 times more as in Bob's case. Obviously, it's true that starting earlier is better. Anna has a longer time to save, plus her money has more time to grow. And this is an excellent message for young people to get motivated to start investing. But there are a few problems with this message. First of all, how many young people do you know who save and invest a lot of money? With this kind of message, you create this illusion that successful investors always start young, and that's simply not true. The other problem with this message is the all or nothing fallacy. We get frustrated that we didn't start at 25, which realistically very few people do, so we give up and don't invest at all, and our money keeps sitting in the bank doing nothing. So the first thing that you need to do is stop comparing your age to other people. It doesn't matter that other people started younger than you. What matters is, can investing still make a difference in your individual situation? And to answer this question, we need to set criteria for what investment success looks like. For example, when you go to the gym, you succeed if you lose fat or gain muscle or get stronger. So what is it that investing needs to do for us? Well, the way I look at it, there are 2 main goals you should have. To understand the first goal, imagine this. What if the government announced you have to pay a new tax? Every year, you'll have to pay 5% of your bank balance to the government. How would that feel? I assume you would be really upset. I mean, if the government takes 5% of your money every year, that would be outrageous. You could never build wealth that way. But did you know that something very similar is actually happening to your savings right this minute? If you don't believe me, just think back 20 years. What did rent cost in your city? What did ice cream cost? So from year to year, we don't notice, but over time, the price of almost everything jumps drastically. It's pretty much the same thing as if the government taxes you 5%, because the money that you have sitting in your bank, it can buy less. And by the way, have you noticed that there's an age switch for inflation where as you get older, prices don't go up anymore? No? Well, me neither. Obviously, inflation is just as relevant for me today when I'm 40 as it was 20 years ago when I was just starting my first job. And it's still going to be relevant when I'm 60 or 70. So the first goal of investing is to grow our savings faster than inflation. And to understand the second goal, look at this box. What if this were a magic box where you put in 50 euros today, and then you close it and wait a bit, and when you open it back up, there's 100 euros waiting for you. That would be pretty cool, right? Let me check. No, it's still just 50 euros, so I guess I'll have to invest my money instead. Okay, so it's a simplistic analogy, but at the end of the day, this is what we want from investing, right? You put in some money, you wait a while, and then you take out more than you put in. We have many different reasons for investing. You want to have a nice retirement, or work less, or travel more, or buy a house, or start a business. But at the end of the day, the second goal of investing is very simple: to multiply your money. All right, so investing is worth it if it can guard our money from inflation and multiply it over time. So let's go ahead and check how this works at different ages and life situations. For our first scenario, let's assume that you are 30 years old, you've got 35 years until retirement, and you want to multiply your money. To run the numbers, I'm going to use this simple investment calculator, and later in the video, I will share it with you. So for our investment time frame, we have 35 years, from age 30 to age 65. So on day one, I'm going to assume we start with nothing, we have zero, and then every month we invest 200 euros. Now, over time, probably our income goes up, so every year we invest 3% more. So that means the first year it's 200 euros per month, then the next year is going to be 206 euros per month, and so forth. And then for the profit, I will assume 9% per year because the global stock market has averaged 9% per year over the past 50 years. So what do we get? Well, we invested 145,000 euros over 35 years. We had profits of 591,000 euros, and the final balance would be 736,000 euros. Now, everybody is going to have a different opinion about is that a lot or is that too little? But that's actually the wrong question. Ask yourself this instead. Do you understand what these 591,000 euros in this picture mean? The way I look at it, this is the cost of inaction. It's the cost of leaving your money uninvested. That is the cost that most Europeans pay when they simply leave their money sitting in the bank. The question is, are you willing to pay that cost by not investing? Now, if we look at our two criteria, first, in terms of inflation, well, 9% per year is extremely likely to cover inflation, okay? Stock investing has been really effective at protecting your money from rising prices long term. And second, in terms of multiplying our money, with these kinds of results, every euro that you saved grew 5 times, okay? So that's a pretty big deal, right? If you can save 1,000 euros but spend 5,000, that makes a difference in your life. So pretty obviously, at age 30, investing makes all the sense in the world. Now let's step this forward to age 40. So now we have 25 years to invest. With all other assumptions staying the same, our total investment amount is 88,000 euros, our profits are 185,000 euros, and the final balance is 273,000 euros. Now, obviously, it's significantly less, but it's still a huge difference between simply having 88,000 euros in the bank or ending up with more than 250,000, right? Now, let's step it forward to age 50. So that means we have 15 years left until retirement. And in this scenario, I will also decrease our expected profit to 7% per year because as you get older, you will probably be taking less risk in your portfolio. So now we see that we invest 45,000 euros, we've got profits of around 30,000 euros, and we end up with 75,000. Now, of course, you might say at this point that these are disappointing numbers compared to if you started at 30 or 40. And sure, the best time to start would have been 10 or 20 years ago, but the next best time is today, right? I mean, are you better off retiring with 45,000 euros in savings or 75? And actually, I mean, if you're not investing, most people don't even manage to save the money. They just end up spending it. So this could be a difference between having 0 saved or 75K. And then, of course, if you're starting to save and invest later in your life, you can make an effort to save more money. So if you save 500 euros a month, you end up with 186,000. If you can manage to save 1,000 a month, you end up with 373,000. So investing can still make a very significant difference in your life. All right, so now let's step the age forward to 60. That means you've got 5 years until retirement. For this short time frame, I would assume an even lower profit level, maybe 5% per year, because you will be more cautious. And we can see that even if you save and invest as much as 1,000 euros per month, you still end up with a relatively low profit level, 8,000 euros, and a total final balance of 72,000 euros, which is natural. Your money doesn't have that much time to work. So this profit is not going to be life-changing. But even in this case, we're still beating inflation, right? You're protecting your money from rising prices. And you are better off than if you didn't invest at all. Plus, there is one more variable in this situation that we haven't changed. So when I teach older students who are 60 or 70, Usually, most of them already have some savings sitting in their bank account. So maybe you've got 200,000 euros saved, or maybe you got an inheritance or sold a property. If you invest this money, then even a relatively modest profit level of 5% per year can still mean a difference of 60,000 euros over 5 years. And this can significantly affect the quality of life you will have in retirement. What's more, you have to keep in mind that you will likely keep investing even during retirement. Okay, so this picture, it's not the end of the story. So hopefully you see that all the way from age 30 to age 60 and beyond, it's never really too late to start investing. You can still protect your money from inflation and grow it over time. Now, as you get older, obviously you need to put in more to make a difference, but it still works. Now, I don't want to leave the wrong impression. There are some older people who should probably not be investing. If there's somebody who has no savings, no ability to save, for example, somebody living off a government pension with just a few thousand euros in the bank, well, investing will probably not help. Don't fall for scammers who promise that you can start with 1,000 euros and earn millions. That simply doesn't work. But if you have several years ahead of you to save and invest, or if you already have substantial savings, let's say tens of thousands of euros or more, then you're not too old to start investing, whether you are 30, 40, 50, 60, or even 70. And to get started, watch this video where I will show you the best way that I know how to start investing if you live in Europe. Oh, and if you'd like a free copy of the financial calculator that I used in this video, I send it as a welcome gift to new readers of my investment newsletter for Europeans. You'll find the link in the description.